I've had this Mini in my possession for 3 months. It's the Mini Countryman Cooper S Mini Yours, a small SUV and the largest vehicle in the Mini's lineup. We've had many adventures together. We've been all around town, and as soon as I got some freedom in Melbourne, we took plenty of trips further out of town too. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I liked, what I didn't like so much, and I'm going to answer those initial questions. Is it practical? Does it work not just in and around town, but out of town too? Let's find out. A quick recap. There are 3 variants available in the Countryman range, including the Cooper, Cooper S, and John Cooper Works. There's also a plug-in hybrid option. There are 3 trim levels available too, starting with Classic, Mini Yours, and JCW Sport. Our model scores the Mini Yours package. Pricing starts at $61,400 plus on-road costs. Under the bonnet, the Mini packs a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine, which pumps out 141 kilowatts of power and 280 newton meters of torque. It has a 7-speed sports automatic transmission and is front-wheel drive. More on this when we hit the road. Let's start with the way it looks. There's no doubting that Minis are pretty out there when it comes to styling, and this is a topic that's pretty personal. So as always, let us know what you think about this Mini in the comments below. Ours is finished in British Racing Green, which I wasn't a really big fan of at the start, but it's actually really grown on me. There are other really funky additions that come as part of the Mini Yours package that I really appreciate, including the bonnet stripes, the black roof railings, the additional Mini Yours badging, the Mini projection logo, and something that's pretty cool that comes standard are those Union Jack tail lights. Overall, I think Mini did a great job with making this vehicle have a real sense of presence on the road. It's got plenty of quirky features, making it a real head turner. The Mini sits on 19-inch Mini Yours British spoke alloys with run-flat tyres. This means that there's no spare, so instead you get additional storage under the folding floor. There's a total of 450 litres of cargo space and 1,390 litres available when the seats are folded. The boot can all be accessed via the power tailgate. For me, the boot had plenty of room for my daily needs, and I was able to easily fit my large suitcase for a weekend getaway, leaving plenty of spare room. The cargo space is down on its competitors though, such as the BMW X1 and the Volvo XC40. However, larger than the Mercedes-Benz GLA. Also, I would have preferred some levers on top of the rear seat so that I didn't have to go around to the back to fold those seats down. It's a really nice place to be in the back seat here for passengers. Now, there are all the niceties that you don't always get in a small SUV, such as dedicated air vents. There are 2 USB-C ports, seat back pockets, really large door bins with room for a large bottle. Now, I know there's no flip down armrest, however, there is access to the boot, and of course you could use this as an armrest if need be. You also get access to that beautiful bright and airy sunroof back here, and have a look at this legroom. That is my driving position, and as you can see, there is so much space, really generous headroom as well. So I really cannot fault the back here. The interior of our model is finished in leather Chester satellite grey, but there are 3 others available if this isn't to your liking. The front gets sport seats, which are also electric. Up front, let's talk about how practical it is in here. There is a lot of space, not forgetting that this is a small SUV and all of it is really usable. We've got a little cubby just near the 2 cup holders, really large door bins which can hold a large bottle, and they've held a lot of my coffee cups over the past couple of months. I like how this armrest can lift up for larger items, and the seats are really comfortable, especially for longer trips. A lot of people have said that the design in the Mini is getting a little bit old. I don't really agree with that. I actually think it looks really modern and funky in here. All the toggles are quite unique. The dials are really simple. If anything, I think that perhaps the digital instrument cluster is getting a little bit archaic. It is quite small, but if anything, it's really simple and easy to use.
The large circular display was one of my favourite features in this car. It's a standout and I really appreciate the ambient lighting, making it a disco with just the touch of a button. Inside sits an 8.8-inch infotainment system. As part of the Mini Yours equipment highlights, you get concierge services, wireless smartphone integration of Apple CarPlay, and digital radio. No Android Auto though.
Obviously, every system is going to take time to familiarise yourself with. I feel like this one I picked up pretty quickly. All the icons are really large, and I think I like the fact that you do get the 3 options as well. You either like a dial system or you don't. It's within easy reach, so I feel like I did use the dial quite a lot. But then also there's the option of the touch screen and of course the steering wheel controls. I'm happy to say that up front you get a USB-C port and a USB because the wireless charger does not fit my larger iPhone, so I never got to use it. That's one thing. Another thing with the connectivity that really irked me was that when I used Apple CarPlay, a lot of the time the music would drop out, or when I wanted to make a phone call, that would never connect. So I would find myself pulling over a lot of the time and having to connect my phone call to speaker. Also, there is no Android Auto for wireless or wired in the Mini. Driving this Mini, one thing I can promise you is that this thing is a real little pocket rocket. It gets quite a boost from that turbo, some cute acoustics to go with it, and thankfully no lag. It's got rapid response, and even just cruising along in mid mode, which is the standard mode, it gets more than enough power. There's also the option of sport mode, and you can engage the paddle shifters which are mounted on the steering wheel for a little bit more fun, and there's eco mode too, which of course helps with your fuel efficiency, which I will get to shortly. No matter the mode that you're in, it clicks through the gears, the 7 gears available, really easily and smoothly. The steering is pretty weighty, which personally I quite like, and it never really hampered its ability at all to get through tighter turns. I never struggled to make any quick maneuvers or quick U-turns, and getting through tighter car parks was never an issue. Also, the steering wheel itself is a bit bulkier, very BMW-esque, but also I quite like it, and it is wrapped in Nappa leather as well, which is pretty premium. One really nifty feature in the Mini is the pop-up head-up display. Love having head-up display, it's very convenient. However, unlike BMW that don't have it in a pop-up version, I've had to adjust, or I found that I've had to adjust either my steering wheel or my driving position so that I'm not blocking the information like the speed or the audio information or my caller information in the pop-up head-up display. So right now, if I even just move my head a little bit, I am literally blocking some information in this head-up display. So that does not work at times. Otherwise, you can find everything that you do need in your digital instrument cluster. Once you do get the driving position correct, the visibility all round is sensational. Really large windows, front and rear. The Mini Countryman has a ground clearance of 165 millimeters. Now they class this as their small SUV. Would I class it as that? Probably not. Driving around it doesn't feel like one. If anything, it more feels like a small passenger vehicle. But if you are after something a little bit larger, this is large by Mini standards. Okay, so it's done pretty well in and around town, but it is called the Mini Countryman, so I thought why not head further out of town and see what it does like on some more country-like roads. The Mini Countryman has actually handled itself really well. Ride and handling has been great in and around town, out of town too. It's done well over the harsher and sharper bumps and roads. However, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there is plenty of tyre noise from those 19-inch run-flat tyres that comes into the cabin. For longer trips, it's always good to know that you have adaptive cruise control, and this works seamlessly just with 2 clicks of the button on the steering wheel, also with stop and go function. In terms of other safety features, one thing to make mention of is the lane departure warning, which a lot of the time in cars it can send alerts and beeps, be really aggressive and quite distracting, but this one just gives you a little bit of a vibration to let you know to go back into the lane, which personally I quite like.
In the way of safety, there's also 6 airbags, autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection, a speed limiter, auto high beams, and traffic sign recognition.
Mini claims a combined fuel consumption of 6.7 litres per 100 kilometres. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get close to that. In fact, my combined reading was 8.6 litres per 100 kilometres. All different driving conditions, all different types of driving modes. My urban reading was 9.1 litres per 100 kilometres, so it doesn't get a tick in terms of fuel efficiency. Everyone that jumped in this car with me and went for a drive was really surprised by the bite of that engine, as was I. And I'm going to say it one more time, in and around town, out of town, I had lots of fun behind the wheel of this Mini.
Mini offers a 3-year unlimited kilometre warranty, plus there's also an option for owners to purchase an upfront 5-year 80,000 kilometre service plan.
So now that it's time to give the keys back, what is my verdict? Well, there's no doubting that this Mini has some shortfalls in the way of fuel efficiency, cargo space, and it is expensive. However, I would say that this Mini is fun. It's funky and it's functional. It really does tick that practicality box, and I did enjoy the drive, mainly for an urban runabout. But I wouldn't say no to having this Mini parked in my garage for another 3 months. Thanks for watching. If you want to know anything more about the Mini Countryman, make sure you head to Drive.com.au. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tick that bell icon so you get notified when videos like this one go live.